Discord has quickly become the go-to place for our students, and today we're going to be looking at what it is, what you can use it for, and how it works. Let's dive into it with another flipped classroom tutorial. Now, over the past few months, Discord has quickly risen to become an incredibly popular platform. Now, it started out just for gamers, but it's developed into a community where many people are coming together and sharing ideas. Now, what is Discord? Well, Discord is a platform where people can come together in small communities, chat with each other, have video conversations, and share files. Now, let's have a look at Discord, and let's look at it from the educator's point of view and how we can ensure that our students are safe, and also how we can use Discord and build our own communities. So the first thing you'll have to do is open up the Discord website. Now, here on the Discord website, you'll see it highlights download for Windows or open in browser. And this highlights one of the things that makes Discord so appealing to all of our students. You can access it from anywhere using your browser. In addition to that, when you click on download, you will see that they also have native apps for Windows, iOS, Android, Linux, Mac, anything you use, you can get onto Discord. Now, if you haven't got an account yet, you can click on the login button at the top and then select register. Now, when you go to register, you're going to be prompted to create your very own Discord account. As you can see here, we have an email, username, password, and date of birth. Now, at the moment, Discord is set to only allow users over 13, but there's nothing stopping younger users from signing up. And so that is something that you as an educator and parent should be aware of, that many of your students will be using this service even though they are not yet 13. Now, I already have an account, so let's go ahead and open up Discord and let's have a look at what the interface looks like. Now that we've opened Discord, let's talk about the three big parts of Discord. There are servers, categories, and channels. Now, servers are communities that are created by the users. Categories are different areas within that community, and then channels are places where people can talk to each other or have a video conversation. Here, for example, we have the private Flipped Classroom Patreon server, and this is where all the Patreons are coming together and talking, and I'm in there as well, sharing ideas and all sorts of resources. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about that, find that Patreon link in the description below, and then you too can join this server. Now, a server acts a little bit like your Google Drive. It's a general place, and you can invite people to get access to parts within that place. Now, my server here, for example, has a number of different chat rooms. You can see we have a welcome and rules, announcements, general, social handles. But then I also have chat rooms where you can see a little lock in front of it. And this is the real strength of Discord. What you can do is within your server, you can create private channels, and you can only invite just a handful of people to those channels. And this is another thing that really appeals to our students, is that they're creating their own servers. And then within those servers, they're having channels, and those channels allow them to invite others into that channel. Now, one comparison I like to use a lot when explaining Discord to educators is you can look at the server as your Google Drive. You can look at categories as folders on your Google Drive, and then a channel is a Google Docs within that folder that can be shared with individual people. So for example, here I have the server Flipped Classroom. There is an information category which can be closed and opened, and within that category we have the welcome and rules and announcements channels. So let's go ahead and create a server, and then let's set everything up from scratch. So in order for you to create a server, first of all, you're going to click on this plus icon on the left-hand side, add a server. This will now enable you to create your own server. Now, you can start from a template, or you can create your own. We're going to use a template because this is really going to speed up the permissions that we are going to use for this server. So let's select a school club. I'm going to click on that. And then you select, is it for the wider community or is it just for me and my friends? I'm going to select me and my friends. There we go. We can upload an image and then we can give it a name. I'm just going to call this the demo server. Let's create. And this now brings us to the server main interface. So you can see here it's already pre-populated this server with a number of channels and categories. Now that's because we've used a template. If you're not using a template, then everything will be blank. So here you can see we have information. This is a category. Welcome and rules, announcements, resources, text channels, a general text channel, a planning text channel, off topic. and then some voice channels. Now let's dive into the settings of our server first before we start changing anything. So here, next to your demo server, you'll see a drop-down arrow. When you click on that, you can go to your server settings. Here, we can now set up all the permissions for our server. And this is where Discord is incredibly powerful. You can have groups of people given different roles. You can have moderators. You can make people responsible for different channels. So here you can see we have the general settings. We can scroll down, and then this is where we can start toggling options on and off. I'm going to just leave these to the default. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to go to the roles. Now this is the important one. As you can see, we have an officer role with no members, but we can create our own role. So let's go ahead and create a role. We're going to call this person a group leader. Okay, going to give them a highlighted color. That means that whenever they're online, they'll have their own color. And now in the second tab, we can change the permissions. So what is this type of user allowed to do on my server? Well, first of all, they can view the channels. Great, that means that they can access all the channels on the left-hand side. Are they allowed to manage channels? Well, the group leader is not allowed to manage a channel because otherwise they can create, edit, and remove all those channels. So we're going to leave it as it is. Can they manage roles? Can they manage emojis? Can they view the audit logs? And as you can see, we have lots and lots of permissions. Now, because they're a group leader, they are allowed to create invites, but if you don't want that permission, you can always just toggle this off and then save those changes. I'm going to let them create invites. They're allowed to change their nickname. Can they manage other people's nicknames? Let's leave that off. Can they kick members? Can they ban members? So these are all different options that you can use to then give certain members of your community additional permissions. For example, moderators. So for example, in my own flipped classroom server, our gold, bronze, and silver members all have access to additional channels within the server. This is how that is set up. So we're going to scroll down, look at all these different settings. Once you're happy, go ahead and click on Save Changes. That's good and well now. We can scroll to the left-hand side and go down to all the other options. We can add our own emojis. So you can upload custom emojis. This is incredibly fun. So for example, when I click on upload an emoji, I can upload one of these flipped classroom tutorial emojis, and this now becomes available to anyone on the server. So for example, let's just type flipped as the name. Okay, and we're going to save that. Now, when someone wants to use that emoji, all they do is just type colon and then flipped. And there it is, the emoji is part of their conversations. This is so much fun with students and with colleagues where you can give people special custom emojis that they can use in their conversations. Let's go back into our settings. I'm going to open up our server settings. And on the left-hand side, you'll see we have an audit log. This gives us an overview of everything that's taken place on this server, so we can keep an eye on all the changes being made by our moderators or other people with permissions. We can also change a few integrations. We can add widgets, and we have various templates that can be pushed out. In addition to that, when we go to community, we can enable community, and that means that we are now going to build a community outside of our school, outside, and let other people join. Now, a community allows you to give additional permissions. So for example, our flipped server is a community. That means that I can assign moderator roles to different members, and I can also integrate with external services. Another thing within these settings is our user management. So here on the left-hand side, you'll see I have members. I can add various members here. This is also where I can assign roles to my members. So for example, here I can click on those three dots, and then I can give them the following rules. We have invites. This is a way of creating custom invites, and these invites expire as well. So it really keeps your community safe. If you have a private community, you can create an invite, send this to a colleague or send it to a friend. Friend clicks on that invite, and then that invite is no longer valid, so they can't share it on. And we can also ban users. So if there's at any time something that goes wrong or something was said or you need to ban a user, you can ban users from your Discord server. And that brings us to the next part of Discord. When we click on the drop-down arrow here, we have creating channels and creating categories. So let's go ahead and create a category and then create a channel within that category. So we're going to click on the drop down arrow, create a category. I'm going to call this a demo category. And then we can choose to make this private or leave it public. Now, if you do choose to make it private, then you will have to select which roles have access. I'm going to leave it as a public. That means that everyone on my server has access. Again, if you have a private server, making a category or channel public means that only people that have already joined your server can see it. This does not mean that it's open to external people. So we're going to create that category. There we go. We now have an extra category here, demo category. I can now click on that plus icon to create a channel within that category. So we're now going to create two channels, a text channel and a voice channel. Now the text channel, it's like a chat room. People can chat and interact with each other, send photos, send files, and just have a chat. The voice channel, that's more like Google Meet or Microsoft Teams, where you can have your voice channel open, use voice messages, or you can even use video, and I'll look at that in a minute. So let's create a text channel first. I'm going to title this demo text channel. And again, you can make it a private or leave it open to the entire server. I'm going to create that channel. That is now our demo text channel. And as you can see, we can create invites for this channel and we can set up the individual settings for this channel. So here, when I click on this cogwheel, I can go into the settings for this specific channel. So here again, I can add a topic. I can use a slow mode. That means that people can't spam, that there is a certain length of time in between messages. This is great to really slow down your users. We also have permissions, invites, and integrations. Now, as you can see here, you can also turn on or off the not safe for work channel option. And that ties in with some of the privacy settings that we'll talk about when we're looking into safety and how parents and teachers can keep this safe for their users. So we're going to close these options. And now we're going to create a voice channel. So let's go ahead and click on plus and add a voice channel. I'm going to title this demo voice channel. And then again, create channel. Now the difference with a voice channel is that they can't go into chat. As soon as they click on a voice channel, you can see that by this icon here, as soon as they click on it, it connects. That means that now my voice is connected. And as you can see, my name is highlighted because I'm speaking. So everyone in the voice channel can now hear me. We can have a conversation and we can just talk to each other in the background. This is one of those options that our students use all the time. When you're seeing students during your online lessons and they're talking and you don't know who they're talking to, there's a very good chance that they have a voice channel open in the background. So here you can see the voice channel is connected, but I can also connect my video and I can share my screen. So this is very similar to other services such as Microsoft Teams or Google Meet, where you can use your video feed to really help and support each other. Now let's say that you're finished with the voice channel and you want to disconnect. You can always just click on this icon right here to disconnect from the voice channel. And then you can carry on with the rest of Discord. So let's go ahead and create an invite and invite someone to this server. So at the top, we're going to click on the drop down arrow. We're going to invite people. Now the first thing you'll see is a list of friends, and these are people that you're already connected with on Discord. In addition to that, you can send them this link down here, and this will expire in 7 days. So this link is only valid for 7 days. When you click on that link, you can then email it, text it, or send it via any other service to those people you'd like to invite. And that brings us to the security and privacy portion of this video. That Discord is a platform for 13 and over, but there are some channels and servers on Discord that have a lot of inappropriate content. We're talking about inappropriate language, images being shared, etc. Now, how can teachers and parents keep their students and children safe? Well, there's a number of settings built into Discord that you can discuss together with your child or with your students on how they can prevent seeing inappropriate content. Now in the bottom left corner, you will see my icon and my name. And next to that, I can deafen or mute my microphone. Now when I mute my microphone, it stops working. When I deafen, I don't hear anyone else. But I also have that cogwheel. So let's click on the cogwheel. This is where you can set up all the information you need for signing in and out of Discord, your passwords, your email address, as well as two-factor authentication. Now on the left-hand side, we have privacy and safety. Now when we click on privacy and safety, Here you can add a number of features that will keep your students and children safe. The first thing you can do is you can select the Keep Me Safe option. This will automatically scan every message and every direct message and make sure explicit content is not presented to your students or children. So when you click on Keep Me Safe, that will automatically be scanned. When you use My Friends Are Nice, it will scan everything external, but if they are on your friend list, then it will not scan those messages. And then Do Not Scan, and that means every message can arrive in your inbox without being scanned for explicit content. So I would highly recommend that if your son or daughter is using Discord, that you discuss keeping it at the Keep Me Safe setting. In addition to that, you can scroll down and you can allow direct messages or disallow this from server members. Now, if you do not want to be contacted by others, then you can toggle this here and then you're safe from direct messages. Now, you can also allow or disallow access to not safe for work servers on iOS. I would leave this turned off. There's absolutely no point for them to access those servers. You can scroll down. Who can add you as a friend? Again, these privacy settings will keep your son or daughter safe. So here you can toggle this on or off, everyone, friends of friends or server members. Scrolling down, you can see you can allow friends to join your game because there is a tight integration with gaming as well on Discord. Now this integration is starting to slowly break down because more and more non-gamers and other people are using this to build their communities. So here again, you can disallow this. So if your child enjoys playing games, then there is an integration with Discord. You can always turn this off and then they can't just join the game they're playing. In addition to that, we also have all this data that is being shared with Discord. So here you can see, use this data to improve Discord. You can again toggle this on or off, use it to customize the experience. You can choose to share this with them or not, and then allow them to track the screen reader usage, again, on or off. All these things make Discord an incredibly easy to use and secure platform if it's set up correctly. Now, if you ever wonder what sort of data do they have on me and what information do they have available, well, you can always click on request data and then they will send you all the information they have on your user account. Now, within the Discord servers, it functions as a basic chat room. So as you can see here, this is the demo text channel. I can simply type, "Hello everyone." And I hope you found this helpful. And if you're interested in joining our own flipped classroom tutorial server, then you can always scroll down and find out the information about Patreon, because that server is set aside just for our Patreons, where we have a close community and we're sharing ideas and resources. Now, if you want even more information on Discord, then you can always go and visit my blog, linked in the description below, where I'll have a complete write-up of everything you need to know about Discord as a parent, a student, and a teacher. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you subscribe right now. If you're already subscribed, let me know in that comment section. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.